Welcome, everyone. My name is Jim Gonsoulin. I'm very excited to be hosting Keeppunching University this evening. We do this every Monday night at 5:50 Central Time. Carrie and Mickey Daigle have been sponsoring this call and now Zoom for that 30 plus years. We're very fortunate to be part of this team, and we've got a very special guest with us tonight, Mr. Curt Beavers. Curt and Laurie, his wife, have been involved in the business for well over 30 years. They got started when they were very young, and they've now established a business in over 20 countries, believe it or not. That's the power of our business, and Curt's going to share more about that. They are founders. They've been awarded the Founders Award. They're part of an elite group, as are Carrie and Mickey, that has been selected by Jay Martin to really be acknowledged for the contribution they've made to the company all over the world. Curt's one of the best trainers in our business, and you'll understand that after he shares some insight with you tonight. So Curt, welcome to the call.
Hey, Jim, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Good to see you again. You and I were actually part of the Brene Brown course. You were my leader in that pod. We had a leadership course a couple of years ago, and Curt did a great job helping me to see some things that helped me out in my business. So
you survived. You survived.
I did. I survived and I thrived from that. You gave us some good insight. Curt, tell us, to start, what attracted you and Laurie to the business way back when?
Oh my gosh, it's been a long time ago, but I can really clearly remember Laurie and I wanting a business for her to stay at home, make $1,000 a month. And I would say the first thing that attracted us was that it was affordable, because at 23 and 22 years old, we didn't have the resources to go buy a franchise or start our own business, or even do something on the side and have any cash to support yourself for 6 months while you built your business. So, you know, Jim, we love the product, love the company, but in all honesty, the number one thing that made it possible for us as a young couple was that there was no upfront financial commitment.
Yeah, and that's pretty clear. A lot of people today, in fact, we've got a real opportunity with our company where they're celebrating 30 years and giving us a chance to bring on new partners at $22. So Curt, tell us, what were some things that you guys learned, lessons you learned early in the business that would be important to us?
Well, you know what, when you go into something new, you can go in with two different attitudes or two different mindsets. One would be, I've been in sales before, I know how to do this, or almost one of fear and trepidation. I've never done anything like this before in my entire life. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm just going to listen and do whatever they tell me to do. And so Laurie and I basically were naive enough that we decided we were going to listen. We went to events and meetings where people were making insane amounts of money. I mean, so we knew that the monetary value was there, and that we saw that. But the first thing that we did that I think was the most valuable to us was we made a list of names. And some people call it a prospect list. Our company happens to call it a memory jogger. And I didn't know why they call it a memory jogger until they explained, but it's like, well, you need to jog your memory to see who you know. And so in today's world, we probably would have protested and said we were entitled or whatever to not do that. But they told us to write down 300 names. And so we said, okay, we got to write down 300 names. And we went home, and this is kind of interesting for those of you that have never done anything like that before, is we went home and started making a list. And when we were like pretty organized in this process, we were getting out wedding lists, high school and college yearbooks. We were getting out all of our family contacts, church Sunday school list. I didn't have Facebook back then. Got my mom's address book off the kitchen counter. And we started writing names down, and we got to 150 and we were stumped. I mean, we were literally, I said, Lord, we're not gonna be able to do this. We don't know anybody else. And so we called our sponsor, and they had, and the good thing that I think we could do more of today, but we do so much digital, is they withheld our starter kit. Back then we didn't have everything digital. So we actually got a box with all of our brochures and stuff in it. And they withheld that. They said they'd give it to us as soon as we went over our list of names together. So I didn't think I was ever going to get my starter kit, because I only got half the names they told me to write down. And he said, I called him and he said, it's not a problem. He said, you just got to get out the yellow pages. And there are probably people on here that don't even know what a yellow pages is, but we used to actually get a book thrown on our front porch with a list of who all lived in your area. And the yellow pages was the business version. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to call like dialing for dollars like a New York stockbroker. I am not even, we can't do that. And he said, no. He says, I told you it was a memory jogger. I'm trying to jog your memory. I want you to go through that thing and start with astronauts and barbers and chiropractors and doctors and exterminators and farmers and garage door openers. And as you go through the alphabet and you go through all those categories, you're going to think of people's names you've never even thought of before. And so we did, and sure enough, we got 300. Now, today, you don't have to have a yellow pages. We've got PDF documents and tools that have all those categories on there. But if you've never made a list like that before, you will stop way short of what your potential is unless you just sit down and really just dump the names of the people that are in your life. And so we did, and that's how we got started. And we got 38 customers our first month. So it was amazing.
That's a great lesson, Curt. And you say, we have a list of things that'll kind of jog somebody's memory. And it's really true. The yellow pages back then was how we kind of evolved from that point. But the list we have today allow people to really make that list. And it doesn't have to be 300. You can get off to a real good start with a good list right from the start. So we often talk in our business about qualifying your business. Why is that so important to really building a solid business like you and Laurie have?
Well, that probably would have been the second thing that I would have said that I learned in the beginning. The list was the first, but the second was we learned that we had to manage the month. We quickly found out that we got paid monthly, and we got paid between the 1st and the 10th of every month on what we did the previous month. As long as we were qualified, we'd get all that income. And so we learned very early in the game that we had to make sure we had our customer base built. We had to have our structure and all those things in place so we didn't miss any bonuses. But the number one thing, and it's probably, I don't think anybody on this phone or anybody looking at our business, and certainly not Jim, you or me or Mickey or Carrie, we didn't get in this business to get a one-time paycheck. We got in this business to build that long-term, reliable, residual income that we can earn because of what we do. And so that performance bonus, which is what you get paid when you qualify your business, you use that term, that is the magic. That's the secret sauce. That's what separates our business from any other business out there. I can tell you right now, I'm going to explain it, but like right now, the value of that to me is I can tell you somebody that I had coffee with on Thanksgiving Day 30 years ago that I still get paid on today. Thousands of dollars on a regular basis. Never missed a month because I qualify my business and I get paid that bonus and override on what he does and his organization does. And so it's super important. It's the smallest part of your paycheck in the beginning because it's a 3% bonus that will become the biggest part of your paycheck as your business grows. So in the beginning, when you start, how big is your downline? It ain't. You don't have one. It's zero. So you're doing all the work. And the goal is for you to use our compensation plan, title rewards, sales profit, commissions, all those things. You earn all those payment options, income options, while you're building your business so that the 3% becomes the biggest part of your income. And that's reliable residual income you get every month. And in our business, if you don't understand this, you need to sit down with your upline that's got a piece of paper. But we don't just get paid on people. Like most companies, if Sally recruited Susie and Susie recruited Tim and Tim recruited Tom and Tom recruited Joanne, that's 5 people. So we get paid through 5 generations, but most companies would say, whatever those 5 people do, that's what you get paid. But do you think everybody actually produces? Do you think 100% of the people that you bring in this business are going to be your superstars? No way. That 80-20 rule is thriving just like it is in the rest of the world. Maybe it's even 90-10 in our industry. And so our compensation plan, we pay you through 5 producing people, not just 5 people. So our business is going to go down and it's going to find 5 people that are after this business, that are getting it, that are doing it, not somebody that just signed up. So that performance bonus qualifying your business, you're just throwing money away and leaving money on the table. if you don't make sure that you qualify your business every month. And it's right now that we're right here, Jim, right here, 10 days left in the month, 11 days left in the month. And this is when we focus in on, we assess where we are, and we don't want the month in until we make sure we got our business qualified. Done it for 36 years. And I learned that lesson early, learned how to manage the month, start the month well, finish the month strong, do all the activities in the middle, and you make sure you get all those boxes checked.
Good, that's awesome, because I know you've done some tremendous trainings on qualifying your business. And it may sound complicated, but as you mentioned, everybody can get with their support team member and find out how they can qualify. And I love what you said. The company helps you with those bonuses and title rewards while you're working up to that point. So just in round numbers, let's say somebody bought a trio. How many of those people would it take to qualify your business?
If you're going to do it by yourself, about 25, 26 people, something like that. I always tell everybody to get 30. That way, if you have one or two that drop off or you gain one or two, I think 30 is a good round number. But some people are going to get quads, some people are going to get 4. And what our new CEO, Travis Garza, and this is what I've been teaching for years, I don't know enough narcissistic people to think that our business would work this way, because I'm not going to go call on a mom and she's going to say, yeah, I got to have this. I'm going to get healthy. Forget my husband, forget my kids. I just want to get this product for me. No, when you talk to somebody about this, it's about a healthy household. It's about a healthy family. So you really need 12, 13, 14 families on Juice Plus. I don't think of 30 customers. I think I need to go get somewhere 12 to 15 families on the product. The kids get it free with the foundation. So to qualify my business, I just need to go out and get 12 families,
Yeah. That's very powerful, Curt. And you talk about this often, but how does somebody basically build a business? I've seen it where people do what you do. So you mentioned about the quad and getting all the products. I've seen that happen. How important is it to be on the product and set a good example of not only benefiting, but being the model for your team?
It's so important. It's actually the theme of our Juice Plus Live conference in Charlotte. The theme is live the mission. Just like the Bible says, you can talk the talk, but people are following the ones that walk the walk. And so when you live out that example, it doesn't matter if you're big, little, small, tall, fat, skinny, muscle bound, or whatever. We're all on a journey to get where we want to be. So it's not like you have to have this perfect figure or run the race the fastest or do the fitness modeling like Victoria did. She was amazing, but we're all not going to do that. But we all can be on the product. We all can show how we've given up donuts for complete. We've replaced stupid calories with healthy calories. We're taking flooding our bodies with fruits and vegetables. We've got our kids on the product. And what happens is people notice. People notice what you do, not just what you say. You take the capsules, and, when you go to lunch one day, you've got the little keychain or whatever, and you take your capsules in front of somebody and explain to them what it is. So, or share a smoothie with them. So, I really believe that the most successful people in our business at least live out the practice of what I call our core 4. And we've all, one simple change is what we talk about. Make one simple change towards better health. But that core 4 is drink enough water, hydration, exercise, sleep or rest, and a whole food diet that consists of eating better and eating right. If you live out that core 4 with our product as the standard bearer in the middle of that, people will notice what you're doing. And if you're, we're not a weight loss company, but if you're overweight and your goal is to get healthy, not to get skinny, you're going to lose weight and people are going to see that. If you're skinny and your goal is to gain weight and bulk up, and if your goal is to get healthy, not be a weight gainer, but you want to be healthy and you're thin when you start, getting healthy, part of that journey is you getting to the right weight. Or it could be, using our Perform to get muscle recovery so you can exercise more. There's so many ways that when you live the mission, it's evident. You don't even have to say it. People see it.
That's awesome. And you give a good example there, Curt, because people are always watching, whether you think they are or not, especially long-term. They're going to watch you and see how you do. And that's great advice for everybody, especially those just starting. I want to talk about our distribution system, network marketing. Why is it so important? And how can somebody build a residual income over time?
Well, there are lots of options in today's world. When I started, there was not the title or the category of the gig economy, but you can drive somebody around from spot to spot in an Uber. You can deliver pizza. You can do some online things. Sue Burdick, mine and Carrie and Mickey's friend and your friend too. I mean, she was washing dogs and, cleaning animals and cleaning houses. There are lots of options out there, but there's one thing, or a couple of things, but there's one thing that our business offers that none of the others do. And that is the ability to get paid tomorrow off what you did yesterday. The ability to not trade hours for dollars the rest of your life in order to create a paycheck. Jim, I wrote a book. It's called Make a Life, Not Just a Living. And the whole premise in that book, there's one behind me somewhere back there in the back too. The whole premise of that book is that every one of us has a unique God-given purpose. Yeah, that's the book. And what I saw so many people doing is they were not thriving and able to pursue that purpose and passion, who they wanted to be, because what they did to create a paycheck consumed all the hours. They didn't have time for family. They had time to eat and sleep and get up and do it again, And what I felt called to do was, after I found this business, and it was in the network marketing model that there was no limit to my income. There was no territories that I could operate in, and I didn't just have to get paid on myself. I could build an army. I could build a machine to accomplish our mission of inspiring healthy living around the world. When I figured out I could do that, I felt called to share that, because I saw so many frustrated people. You see, our society and our system today, it says, get a degree, get a job, find a spouse, get a house, float your resume, have a child, get a bigger house, hopefully not a bigger spouse, but a bigger house. And, and keep moving up the ladder and fund your 401k. There's a whole industry out there that says, give me your money, I'll put it in the 401k, fund your 401k, fund your 401k. When you're 65, 66, 67, man, you can buy a boat and you can do what you want to do. And I'm like, well, what happened to the 40 years while I was doing that I just create the paycheck and I didn't even have time to live the life God called me to live? And so that's what the network marketing model does, is it gives you the opportunity. Robert Kiyosaki says, some are employees, some are self-employed. They're secure, but they have a job, or the job owns them. Think about it, somebody that owns their own retail business, and they're like, it's a great opportunity, but if they're not there working and they don't have the right labor there, it runs their life. He said the only way to really have that freedom, financial freedom, is to own a business, which could be a franchise. You could be CEO of a corporation, like chairman of the board, or it's a direct sales network marketing business, so that you get paid not only off yourself, but off the efforts of others. You build a business system. You don't create a job. Or you can, stop at the convenience store and keep buying lottery tickets and see if you hit the jackpot and live off your investments. Some can do that. Some inherit the money, but there's no way really to make that happen. A lot of times that it happens to you because of the economy or whatever. So the network marketing industry is me and you and the average guy's best way to experience creating a business that funds your purpose and passion, rather than it being the obstacle, because you're just creating a paycheck and not creating the life you want to create. So I'm passionate about that. Wrote a book about it. It's important, because people will spend their lives creating a paycheck instead of building a life to pursue their purpose and passion. Because God put something in each of us different, and he wants us to pursue it, because he wired us that way.
He wired us that way. And I heard somebody say in a Bible study, God gives you a purpose, and if you don't accomplish that purpose, he may hand it over to somebody else, because his intention will get done. I know you and Laurie have sponsored the prayer breakfast for over 20 years, Curt. Talk about the community that this business has created. How valuable is that to you guys?
I mean, Carrie and Mickey will echo that. Just sitting around Jay's pool and being with those people. I mean, what came out of everybody's mouth without anybody planning it is Jay Martin created a family that is a business. He didn't create a business that became, we were all like, it was like we were at a family reunion. It wasn't like we were like at a business gathering. We were all business people, but if I was going to go on vacation or go do something, the people I'd invite to go with me would be the people that are in my business, not because I have to, because I want to. And the worship gathering, which used to be a prayer breakfast, we don't serve food anymore because we can get more people in the room. The one this year I'm really excited about. I'm a firm believer that almost all the problems we have in our world today are the result of the deterioration of the family in America. I believe that the destruction of the family, kids growing up without two parents, I just believe that is at the root of so much of the problems we see around the world. And I got really burdened about that. And I asked Jeff Voth, who founded a ministry called Cave Time, and he just wrote a book about restoring the family in America. And so that's what our conference is. Our worship gathering is going to be about, the restoration of the family. And I think God's doing something kind of unique, because Travis has really resounded that we need to be after inspiring healthy families. We need to build healthy families. And, that's a physically healthy, that's a spiritually healthy, and mentally healthy. We have an opportunity in our community to be holistically heal families. So we're going to have that speaker at the worship gathering. And I'm going to speak about that at conference too, and a little bit. And I think it's a right thing. Let me tell you why it's a right monetary thing. If you're trying to do something big, if you ever heard somebody says, you compare that big thing that you got to do, you got to eat the elephant. So how do you eat an elephant? How do you eat an elephant, Jim? How do you do it?
One bite at a time.
Okay, one bite at a time. We all know that. But you know what? Nobody tells you how big a bite you have to take. And if you do this business and you think about one customer, two customers, three customers, you're taking baby bites. If you think about eating the elephant one family at a time, it's like taking 3 bites at once. And your business is going to grow faster. You're going to build it faster. You're going to be healthy families. I talk to Kerry sometimes, and he's running backwards around the track, and he's the only person I know that calls me on the phone when he's running backwards. Anyway, he's running backwards around the track. But sometimes we go to this track and you run the stadium stairs. Anybody ever run stadium stairs? So I know Jim has from his football background, and you can take the steps that are in the aisle, which are the little bitty steps, or you can move over 1 foot and you can take the big steps and just take a little bit bigger stride. It's a little more effort, but you're going to get to the top about 3 times as fast. And that's what is going to happen if we go after families in our business. If we go after households, it's going to be a game changer, and it's going to increase the rate of growing your business a bunch.
Yeah. And Curt, again, you share from your years of experience, and that's what I ask people to glean from tonight. Here you are on this call, whether you're brand new or 30 years like myself, Curt sharing some insight that all of us can gain from. So we appreciate you sharing that. Curt, one question I'll ask you before we close it out after that is talk about the Healthy Starts program. What impact you see that making, and how has the enhancement that Jay recently came out with and made, how is that going to impact our business?
Well, there are 2 things that the Juice Plus company does for sure that I know nobody else does around the world. I mean, there may be somebody, but I've never found them. One of them is they provide health benefits for our leadership, and we're 1099. We're not employees. There's no other company in the world that I know of that's been able to create a benefits package to people that are 1099, own their own business, but we get paid like our benefits are like we're an executive of a Fortune 500 company. That's one thing. The second thing that we do is when the mamas and the daddies and the parents, aunts, uncles, and grandparents take Juice Plus and flood their body with fruits and vegetables. Jay Martin, our founder that we were with Friday night, he made a decision many years ago that he wanted to make sure that the most vulnerable segment of our population, the least healthy eating segment of our population, the young adolescent kids, were able to get Juice Plus, school-age kids, because the mamas and daddies were not at their highest income earning years yet, because they were still young, but the kids were at the highest expense years. I mean, they were expensive, but they weren't making the most money. So he, out of his pocket, began the funding of our foundation that pays for the kids to get the product free until they're 26 years old. I mean, I guess it's actually, until they turn 26. They get it free from 4 to 26, as long as the parents on the product. The foundation pays for that. And if nothing else, how many of you would like to be in a business where you sell something where you could start with, I've got something free for you. You didn't have to go ask for money on the first statement. You say, your kids could eat this for free. Do your kids eat a lot of broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage? They need to. And I've got a way they can flood their body with fruits and vegetables, and you can too. And as long as you're doing it, your kids get it free for 22 years. And that's that's the heart of this company. That's what Jay Martin did. And yeah, we could, there's a little piece of that we donate. So what I like to say is when I'm sharing that with a family, I said, you know, our company started a foundation, and I'd be happy to make a donation on the behalf of your kids so that they can get it free when you order your product. And I do it every time. And so I don't even see that children's health study participation that we have as partners. I see that as a joy, because when I share that with the family, I can actually tell them that I'm making a donation on the behalf of their child so their child can get it free for 22 years.
That's awesome. Curt, that's tremendous. You've given us some great insight tonight, and even the language you shared about living the mission and being committed to helping other people. That's what we're all about. So we appreciate you sharing that. In closing, what would be your advice to somebody who's just starting the business, or maybe somebody that's got some experience? What's going to happen with the Juice Plus company? What would you advise somebody to really focus on from here on out?
And there's two things. If you're brand new, or if you're in the business, there's two things you need to do right out of the gate just to make sure you're not leaving money on the table. You need to make sure you get the sales coordinator as fast as you possibly can. Because if you don't do that, you're leaving commission, you're leaving money on the table. Just literally somebody else is getting money that should be in your pocket. So we've got a 90-day express track to get there. And if you're beyond 90 days, we can give you a fast track where you got 6 months to get there. And there's title rewards. There's money in that for you for doing the right things, but you got to do that. Second, you got to qualify your business. Get the sales coordinator. That's your first blinders on, laser focus, get the sales coordinator. Number two, blinders on, laser focus, make sure you got your business qualified. Now you can begin your journey of building your business. You know you're positioned right to leave no money on the table. So you're getting everything out of this business that you deserve. And now we need to go build your team. And so what I would tell you is here's the mindset you need in this business. Because here's the easy thing is to get in this business and get so stinking excited about our product. I mean, almost 50 research studies, #1 product of its kind in the world. You could get so enamored by all that you could get so product focused that all you did was get up and go get customers. Share the product, get customers. That's great. You can build a great part-time income. Okay. But you need 5 leaders on your team to get to the top, to get benefits, to get to reap the real rewards of that reliable residual income, and stop trading hours for dollars. Now, you can focus on just getting a customer, and you might never tell any of them about the business, because you can go get a customer and never mention the business, right? Never even, you could get a family on Juice Plus and they would never even know there was a business opportunity for them. Okay, it's great. Building that part-time income, you're adding to your income, you're not multiplying it. If you go out and try and find the 5 people, if you said, I can't stop, my mission is to go find 5 amazing leaders to join me in this mission. I'm not going to stop till I find those 5. Guess what? You can't help but get customers if you stay focused on finding your 5. Everybody's not going to get in the business. Some are just going to get on the product, but you're not going to find the 5 unless you look for the 5. And you may only get customers if you don't look for the 5. So my message to you is, your goal is you starting this business, or you're restarting your business, or you're stuck and you want to get unstuck. Go find the 5 amazing leaders that are going to join you in this business, and stay focused on that. Nothing else till you find them. You're going to explain the business and the product a zillion times, because there is no business without the product. But remember, your goal is to find those 5 leaders, and you're not going to stop till you find them. You'll build a business beyond your wildest dreams. So the product is the key, but you've got to be focused on the people, because the mission's too big for you to do it by yourself.
That's awesome. Curt, great insight from your 35 plus years. And please thank Laurie for allowing you time to be with us tonight. I know you've got family members, your daughter Hope's involved in the business. Your Uncle David is just a phenomenal example of what can happen with families really all over the world. So thank you very much for being with us and sharing your great experience and insight.
Thanks. I'm glad to be with you guys. Enjoyed it. Monica, best of luck with your golf and your journey back down to Mexico.
That's awesome. Thank you, Curt.
See y'all. See you in Charlotte.
Yes, sir. See you all there. See you at the